Jason Goes to Hell, the final Friday. Final Friday. Has Jason dying and comes back to life, and he can now possess people's bodies until he can be reborn. So this is another movie in this franchise that is one of the most hated horror movies of all time. It's also another movie in this franchise that has the word final in it. And we still have Jason X, Freddy vs. Jason, and the Friday the 13th reboot. And I won't review Freddy vs. Jason, but that's just 3 movies now that that come after this movie. So, anyways, surprisingly, there are actually some positives. The thing I appreciate the most about this movie is that it's unique. It stands out in the Friday the 13th franchise. It's refreshing after the group of teens getting killed by Jason at insert place here. On a boat, at a campsite, at a halfway house. So from parts 5 through 8, and even 2 through 4 to a degree, you cannot, parts 1 through 8, you can honestly say are kind of the same. I forgive it a little more for the original since it's the first movie and that set the template. So really, from 2 through 8, it's kind of just been teens at insert place getting killed. So here, the plot is actually kind of interesting for how different it is. For Jason to take over people's bodies until he can be reborn, that's actually kind of interesting. I will say the characters are actually pretty memorable too. I like Creighton Duke, the bounty hunter, who will do anything to get Jason into hell. I like Steven as the hero for the movie, and Jessica. Steven is willing to have his fingers broken to save Jessica by Creighton Duke. So that's actually really cool. I like that. The kills are really good in the movie. Jason Voorhees getting blown up in the beginning is really good. I like Deborah's kill of getting ripped in half by the pole. 2 cops getting their heads bashed together. That's pretty gory. And Deputy Josh melting to the floor is so gory and so unique, especially for the Friday the 13th franchise, that it'll certainly be in my top 13 kills of the franchise. It's so good. And there are some other kills here and there that are also pretty good, pretty gory. But those are like the standout kills of the movie that are really good. And the final positive is it's a pretty satisfying ending to the franchise. If it was the end of the franchise, Jason Voorhees is finally taken down into hell, only for Freddy Krueger's glove to drag the hockey mask down too, teasing Freddy vs. Jason. But Freddy vs. Jason doesn't technically have to be canon, but I guess it is. But in this movie, this also would have made for a pretty good finale. Part 4, Part 6, and the final Friday, Jason Goes to Hell, the final Friday, all 3 of those would actually make for pretty good endings to the franchise, but they just kept on making them. And we have The New Blood, Jason Takes Manhattan, Jason X, which isn't terrible. But you had 3 opportunities that actually would have made for pretty good conclusions. But that's it for positives. On to the negatives. I will say, although I like the premise, it's interesting, the way the premise starts is ridiculous. the pounding heart of Jason Voorhees is eaten by someone, so now Jason's soul is in him now. They could have made a better explanation for the movie, because, like, if he didn't eat the heart, then, Jason wouldn't have taken over his soul, and it's not explained why he was so mesmerized by the heart. That made him want to eat it. So, because it was pounding, but like nothing, I don't understand. You know, you could have just had like Jason's soul fly around and then go into people's bodies or something. I don't know. Or like have, they have that weird slug thing that came out of someone near the end of the film. Have that weird slug thing come out of Jason's body, I guess, and then just go into the coroner to start the movie. That would actually be kind of a less well, I don't know. Well, to a degree, it would be a less ridiculous explanation of how this premise starts. Another negative is 3 words. Bondage, shaving, scene. What was that? That was just weird. Moving on. I don't like it that the movie brings in Jason's unnamed sister and family just to tell the story or to have the Voorhees house, because there was never a Voorhees house. Jessica was never in the family, or her mother, Diane. So it was just... So, like, that's just a little annoying. Like, don't have any family ties. Just, honestly, just bring back Tommy Jarvis one last time so that he can finally take down Jason. Still have the premise itself for the movie, but instead of having this family ties thing, just have Tommy Jarvis be the main character. Get rid of that family ties thing, and it actually would have made a little more sense, and it actually would have been a lot more impactful having Tommy Jarvis take on Jason Voorhees for the 3rd time. So, that would have been interesting. And the last negative is the slow motion diner massacre is very distracting. It's weird to have slow motion for so long. So, that just didn't make any sense. Like, that was just so weird. But, in the end, it's kind of entertaining. It's flawed, but it's kind of fun, and honestly, I'd rather watch it over the original. So, it's actually kind of entertaining. I kind of enjoy it. That's my review on Jason Goes to Hell, the final Friday. Thanks for watching.